Good morning, students. I welcome you to the online class Standard 8 Subject Physics. I am Amos Michael, teaching physics in Mount Zion Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Pudukkottai. In this class, we are going to learn about the images formed by a convex mirror. So, it is the continuation of the previous class. So, in the previous class, we learned about the images formed by a concave mirror. So, what are the rules for the formation of images in the case of concave mirror? So, the rule number one is a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis of a concave mirror will pass through its focus after reflection. And rule number two is a ray of light passing through the focus becomes parallel to the principal axis after reflection. So, very similar to the case of concave mirror, here in the case of convex mirror, here a ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis of a convex mirror appears to be coming from its focus after reflection. So, you know that this one is called the focus, and in the case of convex mirror, the focus point will lie behind the mirror. Okay, so if a ray of light passing parallel to the principal axis of a convex mirror, and it will be appear to be coming from its focus after reflection. So that is the rule number one. So rule number two is a ray of light going towards the focus of a convex mirror becomes parallel to the principal axis after reflections. Look at the diagram. This ray, that is the AE, a ray of light is going towards the focus, and if you extend this light ray of light backwards, and this ray of light will exactly focus exactly meet at the focus. So this is the ray of light going towards the focus, and if a ray of light going towards the focus, and it will become parallel to the principal axis after reflection. So that is the rule number 2. Then again we are going back to rule number 3. A ray of light going towards the center of curvature of a convex mirror is reflected back along the same path. Here this is the ray of light, and it is going towards the center of curvature of a convex mirror. So this one is the center of curvature, and if a ray of light going towards the center of curvature of a convex mirror, and it will be reflected back along the same path. That is what shown in this picture. Okay, next one, rule number 4. A ray of light which is incident at the pole of a convex mirror is reflected back, making the same angle with the principal axis. Look at the diagram. This one is the ray of light, and it is incident on the convex mirror at the point P. You know that P is nothing but the pole, that is the geometrical center of the convex mirror is called pole. You know that very well. So when a ray of light incident at the pole of a convex mirror, and it is reflected back, making the same angle with the principal axis. So this one is the principal axis. So here the I, that means the angle of incidence, will be exactly equal to small r, that is the angle of reflection. So here angle of incidence I will be exactly equal to angle of reflection r. So that is the rule number 4. Next we are going to learn about the images formed by a convex mirror. So there are two cases, only two cases, whereas in the case of concave mirror we have learned about 6 cases. Okay, but here we will have only 2 cases. The first case is when the object is placed at infinity. You know that infinity means it's a very long distance, it's imaginary, it's uncountable. Okay, already you know that. So here this is the convex mirror, and you know that P is the pole, that is the geometrical center point of the convex mirror. F is nothing but the focus of the convex mirror. C is the center of curvature, and this one is the principal axis. And we have assumed that the object AB is placed at infinity. So here we have imagined that the object AB is placed at infinity. Okay, then what will be the nature of the images formed by the convex mirror? The image will be formed behind the mirror at the focus. So here the mirror is going to form behind the mirror at the exactly at the focus point of the convex mirror. And not only that, it is virtual and erect. You know that what you mean by virtual? Yes, the image cannot be obtained on a screen. So what you are seeing on the mirror is a virtual image, and erect means upright. You know that very well. So here the image will also be highly diminished. What do you mean by diminished? Smaller than the size of the object. So the image will be very smaller than the size of the object. Okay, so in the case of if an object is placed at infinity, then the nature of the images will be the image will be formed well behind the mirror at the focus. That is very important, and it's a virtual and erect image, and it will be a highly diminished one. Since the image of the distant object by a convex mirror is highly diminished, we can see the full image of a tall building or even a tall tree in a small convex mirror. So it's a small convex mirror is enough to see a tall building or a tall tree. Okay. So the next case is when the object is placed anywhere between the pole and the infinity. So here the object can be placed anywhere between the pole and infinity. See, this one is the pole. So what will be the nature of the image? The image will be formed behind the mirror as in the previous case, as it is in the previous case, between the pole and focus. But whereas in the previous case, the image will be formed behind the mirror at the focus, and here the image will be formed behind the mirror only, but it will be focused between the pole and focus. Okay, and it's a virtual and erect, similar to the previous case, and it will be highly diminished, similar to the previous case. Yes, so only difference is here in the previous case the image will be formed at the focus. Here the image will be formed in between the pole and focus. Okay, so that is the very main difference. So what we learned so far is summarized here in the table of column. So it's nothing but if the position of the object anywhere between P and infinity, and the position of the image will be formed behind the mirror, and it will be formed between the pole and focus. And what about the size of the image? Yes, it will be highly diminished one. What about the nature of the image? It's virtual and erect. And what about the at infinity? At infinity, the image position of the image will be formed at the focus, that is behind the mirror at the focus, and it will be highly diminished, exactly virtual and erect image also. So next we are going to learn about the dispersion of light. What do you mean by the dispersion of light? It is the glass prism. You know that very well. When a white light, that is sunlight, is refracted through a prism, it splits into 7 colors. What you are seeing in the picture. So when a white light, that is sunlight, is allowed to pass through a prism, it splits up into 7 colors, namely violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So this phenomenon of splitting up of white light into its 7 color is known as dispersion of light. Yes, and the band of colors obtained on the screen is called the spectrum, that you know already we have discussed in the previous classes. Okay, formation of a rainbow. So you know how a rainbow is formed? Yes, a rainbow will be formed after the rain. We all know that, and it will have all the colors in the case of spectrum, that is starting from violet to red. So dispersion of white light takes place when white light passes through water drops. So after rain, the atmosphere, you will have water drops, and when this water drop, when the light is refracted by the water drops, and you will get a dispersion. As a result, a rainbow is formed in the sky. So the appearance of a rainbow in the sky is due to the dispersion of sunlight by the water droplets present in the atmosphere. Okay, so the rainbow in the sky is an example of dispersion of light in nature. And one more, some extra points is given here, that is a Newton. You know who is Newton? Sir Isaac Newton is a English. He was an English mathematician, physicist, astronomer, and who is widely recognized as one of the most influential scientists of all time. He only investigated the refraction of light and demonstrating that the prism could decompose white light into spectrum of colors. And he performed an experiment by his color disk. He take a disk and he divided the disk into 7 equal parts, and he painted the equal parts with different colors, as in the case of uh, rainbow, starting from violet to red. So he took a circular cardboard disc, and divided into 7 color. The disc appeared white when it was rotated at a high speed. So look at this diagram. So it is at rest. This picture is taken when the disc is at rest, and when it is rotated at a very high speed, the 7 colors disappears and white light is formed. So when the speed increases from 0 to high, it becomes white, and after reducing the speed, it comes back to the normal color. So this experiment was performed by Sir Isaac Newton, and it's proving that white light is composed of 7 colors. Okay, so that's all about, my dear students. I hope that you learn uh, new things and understand the concept very thoroughly. Thank you for your cooperation. Have a good day.